Good evening. On behalf of my board colleagues, I call to order this meeting of the Elements Burlington Board of Education. Dr. Hall and Mr. Engel are not with us. I believe they are watching with us, though, but they will not be here in person this evening. Board members, you've had an opportunity to, before I get there, let me welcome Commissioner Powell with us, and as always, our friends from the media and the ABSS staff. All right, you've had an opportunity to, Mr. Wagner, I believe that you're doing the moment of silence and Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair.
You.
Please join me for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand if you're able. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner. Board members, you've had an opportunity to review the agenda. Is there a motion to approve at this time?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Harvey. Any discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously 5-0. You've had the opportunity to review the minutes from 3 May meetings. Is there a motion to approve those as presented?
Motion to approve as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously 5-0. There are several items before you on the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve those as presented?
Motion to approve as presented.
Thank you, Ms. Harvey. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously 5-0. There is no business before the Board of Education this evening, so we will open up for public comments, and we have one speaker, and that is Mr. Sean Ewing.
Good evening. It's been a long day. Good evening, Chair, Board. Thank you all for your time. My name is Sean Ewing. I serve on the Mebane City Council. I'm a veteran, I'm an engineer, and I'm a candidate for Alamance County Commissioner. I was one of about 35 people watching y'all on the YouTube live stream, so thank you all for everything that you're doing. I want to thank this board. You requested what our schools actually need, and when the county's budget came up short, you used every lawful tool available to keep fighting for our kids. This is not stubbornness. That's what stewardship is. You're doing exactly what we elected you to do. And let's be honest about this pattern. This is the second year in a row that getting our schools funding has required mediation. When you have to go through mediation 2 years running just to approach what students, teachers, and buildings require, the problem isn't the school board asking too much. The problem is county budget that keeps treating education as a line item to squeeze. I've spent months studying the county's finances, the revaluation, the tax base, where the real levers are. And I can tell you that the money exists to do better. We can do better. What's been missing is the will to prioritize classrooms, teacher supplements, and roofs and HVAC systems where our kids sit every single day. So my message is simple tonight. To this board, keep doing what you're doing. Don't settle for a little more than last year when the gap is measured in millions. To the commissioners across town in mediation, our community is watching, and we expect a good faith resolution that funds these schools. Not the floor, but we get the actual needs funded. Our kids only get one shot at each grade. They can't wait for next year's budget cycle. Please fund our schools, and thank you all for everything you're doing. Have a good night.
Thank you. All right. I will turn the floor over to our superintendent for strategic plan.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. It's good to see you this evening. I'm going to call Miss Emily Lynn Atkins and Dr. Denise Morton up. They're going to give you a background on our strategic planning process. We're nearly complete with our strategic plan. We have a few things we're going to tweak here and there and hope to have a document out in the probably within the next month or certainly within the next time we meet for a full board agenda. So I will ask them to come up and they will have the floor, and I think you'll be pleased with the work that they've done over the last several months.
Good evening, Chair Ellington Graves, members of the board, and Dr. Fleming. I am excited to share with you our strategic plan refresh, and if I could get the presentation pulled up. Thank you. So, as Dr. Fleming mentioned, we have been working on a strategic plan refresh for quite some time. We'll go over the timeline in just a minute. But what we started with was a plan that listed 6 focus areas and some strategies for action. This is what Dr. Fleming came into the district with. So there's a foundation there, and so you can see the 6 focus areas there. And what we did and what we saw was that we needed to revamp and refresh this plan to clarify some of the priorities, to establish some measurable KPIs and outcomes, and strengthen some of the alignment across our departments and schools. So, what we decided was to begin a refresh. We didn't want to go and just totally scrap this plan that had been in place. We wanted to refresh it, take what we had as the foundation, add some measurable goals, talk to our constituents about what the needs are of the district, and make sure that everything was aligned. So this process started, and this is something that Dr. Fleming mentioned early on when he first got here, and we finally were able to get to it at the end of last year. So in November, December, we started these conversations about what this would look like. And in January, February, we began meeting with focus groups. And if you will recall, in January, February, we were also doing our redistricting plan as well. So we were meeting with a lot of different community members about a lot of different things. But we decided instead of a survey about the strategic plan, we would work with focus groups so that we could get some of that feedback. And then in March and April, we began meeting with our steering committee, and that leads us to the summer, where we are excited to give you a preview of what our plan looks like as we continue to finish some final tweaks and have that roll out sometime this summer. So I mentioned that we met with some focus groups. I think we had a little over 170, I think is what we looked at, a little over 170 folks that came in, provided information to us, feedback about their thoughts. Sorry, this is just slowly moving. It's fine. So we were able to meet with 170 folks all over, different stakeholders, elementary, secondary, classified, students, parents. We actually had a great student session. That was a really good one. Community members, business leaders, district staff. We've met with kind of the whole gambit. We wanted to make sure we had everyone's voice at the table. And then our steering team committee, you can see some of those represented in that group as well. There's about 25 in that group. And so that group has met twice, and we hope to meet one more time. So I'm going to hand this over to Dr. Morton to share a little bit about what our plan looks like now. It's just like falling.
Well, it's a pleasure to be in front of y'all again. So let me draw your attention to what we call the refreshed strategic plan pillars. We really worked with the language with this because some of the language that was on the original plan really didn't communicate what we wanted. So safe and supportive learning environment stays the same as the first pillar. Staff recruitment and retention stays the same. The next one we changed, it was mastery teaching practices. We just didn't think that said student achievement, so we changed it to student achievement so we could really talk about that. The next one was community partnerships, but we really wanted to use the language strengthen family and community partnerships. And the last one was productive citizens, and we moved that to operational efficiency because we have other people beside teachers that make the system run. We're talking about finance, technology, operations, so we really wanted to have a pillar that was devoted to them. Okay. Next. So what our core commitments remain the same. Our refresh, this is some kind of microphone. a refresh plan provides, we're going to have more clearly defined goals. And I think when the board looks at what we've done, I think you'll be pleased to see it's clearer and more concise. There's a stronger alignment between their goals, actions, and outcomes, and then more detailed implementation strategies and more measurable and actionable key performance indicators. Okay? I'm just kidding. Okay. All right, next slide. So we wanted to give you an example of one of the goals that we really refreshed, and that was originally mastery teaching practices. So you'll see that focus area 3 now is student achievement. The goals in that particular area will now be provide effective teaching and learning for all students, really provide early quality learning experiences with our pre-K programs, transition to kindergarten, talked a lot about how to prepare our students to graduate life ready, and then ensure students have a high quality learning aligned for their interest in post-secondary goals, which I think we do a great job at our high schools with. All right, next. So under a student achievement, under those goals will be objectives and action steps. So I'm not going to read those to you. I'm just going to say that for each objective, we did define what action steps needed to be in place to accomplish those. That was not in the previous plan. So these are things that the board can see over time that hopefully that we're accomplishing. Okay? So what's next is it'll provide a clear roadmap for not only the board, but the district leadership, for principals, et cetera. Implementation will focus on aligning resources. We'll do regular progress monitoring, and that's not been done thus far. It's been sort of a sitting out on our website, and we're not going to let that happen anymore. We're going to make sure that we look at it periodically and give key updates. And then lastly, hopefully we're going to build a strong foundation to prepare every student for success in our district. Okay? Do you have any questions about the process we've gone through so far?
Any questions from board members? Mr. Rogers?
Not really sure if it's as much as a question as a comment.
Okay.
But I appreciate showing the example around the Pillar 3 with student achievement because of the whole fact that we know at the end of the day it is about the teaching and learning and what our students are doing as far as their achievement in the classroom. And really looking at that goal 3, preparing every student to graduate life ready. I do like that term because I know a lot of things and times just end up saying like career readiness and all of that, but it is truly about life readiness when they leave from our school system to whatever path that's going to lead on to them. So I'm excited to see how the wording was changed and laying out the actual action steps that y'all show as the examples on the other slide with it, and really now I guess laying out what can be strategic, but also what can be the true actionable items to measure what we're doing with the strategic plan, because it's always good to have a strategic plan and to talk about that one does exist. And like you said, people can go out on the website and see that it exists, but to really come back and show how those action items are there, giving updates around how we're working as a district through that strategic plan, I think is also helpful going forward for our students, families, and the community too, to understand what we're doing as a total district. So I just wanted to thank you for the fact of changing around that wording and getting into a better focus on what we should be doing as a school district. Thank you.
Because we did a lot of wordsmithing on this, trying to get just the right language. So I appreciate those comments. I really do. We spent a lot of time on that. Any other questions that you guys might have?
I just have a comment.
Okay.
I just want to say thank you for the work on this. Thank you for how you changed the wording. It seems to be more involved, where everyone has a piece in this, and that matters. So I just want to say thank you. It looks amazing.
Thank you.
And just to see, the goals that you've laid out, it's amazing work. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And me and Emily Lynn, we held hands on this almost all year. So it's good to see it finally come into fruition and hopefully put it out in front of you. One thing that we'll have to decide is how the strategic leadership of this and who's going to be in charge of what pillar and how to report out over time. And so that'll be probably the next thing we report to you guys. So thank y'all so much.
Okay. Thank you both very much. All right, I will invite Dr. McWhorter to the podium for testing results.
When you say testing results, it doesn't sound very exciting.
Great academic information. Exciting academic information.
Madam Chair, Dr. Fleming, members of the board, it's going to be my joy tonight to present to you guys the preliminary data from the 25-26 school year. But before we jump into the data, before we look at a single chart or spreadsheet, graph, I want to take a moment to just reflect on what this data truly represents. So behind every single proficiency point and every single percentage gain that you're going to see is a child. A child who can go into the next grade reading with confidence, solving problems that they couldn't solve before, and being better prepared for success than they were the year prior. This data is going to give us a lot to celebrate. However, it also lets us know that, and you'll see this, that we're not there yet. That this success is not our finish line. But it does represent a continuation of a new beginning. And what we will, what we'll go through and what we'll see is evidence that our collective effort has made a difference, that great teaching has made a difference, and we are thankful for all of our teachers and the work that they have done each and every day and the work that they are doing with our students. That great leadership has made a difference. We are also grateful and very thankful for the work that our school leaders and our district leaders have been doing. And it reminds us also and tells us to be thankful for each and every one of you, because your support has also made a difference. If nobody has told you that lately, you are making a difference. So thank you for that. So without further ado, we will jump into this year's data. Can we pull up the presentation? Do we not have the presentation?
No, because we didn't attach it to the agenda. We were gonna let it be a surprise. We didn't let it on.
Surprise.
Do this, can you email, just share it on Google to them, and then they'll put it up here. I didn't think about that technical difficulty. I didn't want to put it on the agenda and let the word get out
Would it be
early.
easier for you to share the last one that Clarita sent to you? So I'm not trying to navigate this on my phone.
It was shared with me, right? Wasn't it?
Not sure if I shared the last one with you or not.
Yeah. So just share it with me. John _Fallon.
Yeah, give me a minute.
And I'll be able to pull it up in 2 seconds.
Yeah, we didn't put it on the agenda. We don't want anybody to look at it ahead of time, but because of that, now that you pulled it up.
My personal phone isn't going to go to drive, and my work phone is downstairs. As we are looking for that, do you mind if we jump in, to kind of go out of order? Give us, buy us a little bit of time?
Absolutely, thank you.
All right, so I'm going to skip over to field trips. So we have 3 field trips. Now these field trips are for approval tonight since we're not meeting in July, and some of them are right around the corner. And that is due to them being summer camps that were offered that coaches are trying to take advantage of. So both Southeast High School and Eastern High School are requesting approval to take their dance teams to the National Dance Alliance Camp at UNC Chapel Hill from July 6th through July 9th. Students will work on team building routines and choreography for the upcoming season. The cost of the trip will be $476 per student, and booster clubs at both schools will provide additional support to ensure that no student is left out. In addition, AW Elementary is requesting approval for its 4th grade students to travel to the Outer Banks from March 22nd to March 23rd. During the trip, students will explore the role geography has played on the development of the coastal region, examine factors that have influenced the goods that are produced there, and learn about the significance of historical symbols associated with that area. Students will also study environmental changes in the coastal regions, how these changes have affected organisms that live there, and as part of the experience, they will also visit the Wright Brothers National Memorial and Bodie Island Lighthouse. The trip will be approximately $300 per student, and fundraising efforts will be used to reduce or completely cover the cost of participation, and the school will provide additional support to ensure that there is no student excluded due to socioeconomic circumstances.
Thank you, Dr. McWhorter. Any questions for Dr. McWhorter? This is up for a vote this evening.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Dr. Parker. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Harvey. Any discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously 5-0. Do you want to move up to capturing kids' hearts?
Yes, we will move up to capturing kids' hearts.
Okay.
But so a contract also presented for approval this evening is for Capturing Kids' Hearts. Capturing Kids' Hearts is an evidence-based relational framework designed to improve school culture, decrease disciplinary referrals, and boost student engagement by equipping staff with practical tools to build positive, trusting teacher-student connections. And I should also say student to student. It focuses a lot on morning routines and conflict resolution between students with the goal of making classrooms self-managing in that sense. So the total cost for for the contract is approximately $350,000, but this will actually be a joint adventure, I should say, between both the schools and central office. So the schools are paying part of this for their support visits and ongoing support. So our schools that are continuing this work pay for that out of their own allotments. We do it as a district because we get better pricing when we purchase it, purchase all that as a district. We currently have 5 schools that are engaged in this work. I'm sorry, we currently have 11 schools that are engaged in this work and 5 that we are looking at adding for this year. We delved into some preliminary data and noticed that the schools that are already engaged in this work, there's 2 types of recognition that they can get. One is a Rising Star and one is national, I believe it's called Spotlight. On average, those schools on the teacher work conditions survey had a net gain of about 50% more than our non-Capturing Kids' Hearts schools. So we can see it's already beginning to make a difference, though it's very new in most of our schools. So we're excited to continue this partnership with Capturing Kids' Hearts, and so I present to you this contract for approval.
Dr. McWhorter, how many
Yes.
schools did you say we already have?
We have 11 schools
And we're
currently.
this contract adds 5 more?
Correct.
Okay. And this is state funding?
We'll
Out of
actually be
school
using,
curriculum?
will be a combination. So we'll be using Title II to provide, what the district
Okay.
will be covering will be that initial training for the schools. And then the schools will be using either their own, it could be Title I, it could be their own local dollars, and by that money that they raise through daycares and things like that to pay for the other part.
Okay. Board members, any questions beyond that for Dr. McWhorter? And if not, is there a motion? Oh, yes, Mr. Rogers.
Dr. McWhorter, with the schools that are being added in, is there any certain like time frame or anything for the implementation
So
of the program?
the implementation, a great question. So we're pushing it forward to you all now so that we can get approval and get them scheduled for their initial PD. So that first PD is full staff PD. So they'll begin work throughout basically the summer at the beginning of school year for implementation next year.
So you're saying implementation in 2027 calendar year or
The
fiscal year
26,
28?
27. So they'll be starting this work next school year.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And also note, this is all principal request, so they all wanted this.
All right, any other questions? Yes, Mr. Wagner.
Dr. McWhorter, I'm sorry, I kind of pulled a blank. So this is getting paid through a state grant?
No, sir. So a federal grant. So Title II is a federal grant for professional development and things of that nature.
Yes, Mr. Parker.
Well, I was going to say, I've heard good things about this from a different district, and I'm glad that we're implementing it, especially if the principals have asked for it. I mean, I think it really speaks to the program, so I'm happy to make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Dr. Parker. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner. Any other discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously, 5-0. Thank you, Dr. McWhorter. And we are ready now to move back up to our academic
All right, so pretend,
results.
let's push the rewind button and thank you all. You all are awesome. We're very thankful for the work that you have been doing. That is the one pager.
All right.
Okay, so,
Hold on,
Okay.
let's do this. Could we do comments? We're gonna run and get Sean's computer. And then, can we move into comments?
Yeah. Are we gonna?
Oh, and you gotta do that, yeah.
So while we're adjusting to that, no,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then we'll call you.
I would like to reopen, with the board's permission, public comments to allow Ms. Boyd and Ms. White to come, whichever one of you are speaking, to come forward for public comments. You'll have 3 minutes.
Thank you.
No problem. I apologize. We did not get your slip.
It's okay. This is my first time speaking to the board, and someone suggested I come here to this meeting to speak to you all. In reference, I am a grandmother to the person. I'm speaking of a person in school, but I'm also speaking on her behalf because she cannot do this. And I'm here to talk about the fact that in Alamance County, we do not have, my understanding, correct me please if you can, this is my daughter here, and I am a patient advocate, and I'm here advocating for her. I'm pretty sure a lot of people here probably at this board have heard of this baby who usually serious because of the school system she in. She has to go to school because that's what they told us. And also, she is a 1-pound born baby, and she also have lots of ailments and problems. And one of her main problems she has is seizures. She has cerebral palsy, and she's autistic. Serious autistic, probably on the high spectrum of autism, and she goes to school. She tried it one time before, and they wasn't able to work with her. And she's nonverbal. She wasn't able to walk. She has on braces now. She wore a helmet because she bumps her head. But what I'm really here for is I want to know why we can't have ABA therapists in this area in the school system. By doing some of the work I looked into, I found out that a lot of kids are born autistic. And I asked the doctor that she has, my question were, back in my day, and I'm about 70, there are a lot of kids went to school that had some of the same symptoms, and we had another name for it. And what kind of help did those kids receive? And as everyone know, back in the day, you didn't receive anything. They just let you come to school to be seen because it was a law that they had to go to school. Now, it's different now because you can teach kids. We have the capability of helping these kids. And you all will see in the future, there are numerous kids that are autistic, and you can go to any area, look it up, you will find out that they can learn. It's different. And the fact that you have these kids here, and my question is, and I asked my daughter, oh, she wants me to. Sorry,
she
I'm
said-
gonna try to speak real quick. Okay. I got it.
My 3 minutes is up.
Yes, ma'am.
Do I need to come back another day?
We have public comments at all of our evening meetings.
Okay.
We don't have an evening meeting again until August.
Wow.
However, I would encourage you to speak with Dr. Davis, and she's going to step out and speak with you to maybe try to.
But do you all understand what I'm speaking about?
Yes, ma'am.
Do y'all see the importance of this?
Yes, ma'am.
But is it any way y'all can answer just one question?
Dr. Davis can answer it
Well,
for
why
you.
don't we have ABA therapists here in
That would be a
Alamance
question for
County?
Dr. Davis. She's the Director of Student Services.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Dr. Davis. Did we lose Dr. McWhorter?
He's coming, well, he's running back from his office. But we do have the presentation.
Okay. Would you like to move into superintendent comments, or you want to wait until after the presentation?
I can do mine, and then we'll pick up with board
Okay.
members when Dr. McWhorter finishes. He's here already. I will go ahead and do mine, though, since he's.
We are very
that will give him
flexible
a
this
second.
evening.
Thank you. Yeah, and I will tell everyone before I start with my comments that the idea was normally we put all the presentations on Assembly for the board to preview, but we wanted to leave the academic one off as a surprise. And so not only did we leave it off, but we didn't load it on here either. So I will learn if we are going to do a surprise, still load it and then hide it in Assembly. So I will not make that mistake again. Thank you to everyone for attending our graduation ceremonies. Overall, each ceremony went well. I know there was some conversation regarding security and doors being locked at one of our ceremonies. And if we do return to Greensboro, we will have conversations with them on actual building capacities. I do think there was some communication issues there. We do have a graduation venue committee formed. Dr. Denise Morton, as you know, she's been working on our strategic plan. We're going to use her, continue to use her, and she will lead this committee. And so we appreciate her work and what the committee will come up with in the end. Several of our schools have new leaders this upcoming year, and we want to congratulate them and welcome them to their new building. It's exciting to help a school leader grow their experience in their career, and so our principals are excited, and assistant principals are excited of their new roles, and we look forward to welcoming them into their new buildings. And then our next meeting will be Tuesday, July 21 at 12:30, and this is a personnel-only meeting, so that we can approve some new hires and personnel-related business, and there'll be no other items on the agenda on the July 21, 12:30 meeting. And Madam Chair, that is all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Fleming. At this time, I will welcome Dr. McWhorter
Down.
back to the podium for some fabulous academic news.
Third time's a charm. Good to see you all again. All right, so for our 2026 preliminary, and I do want to stress this is preliminary, the state will officially certify this data when they do the rest of the school performance grades later in this, at the beginning of fall. So what I like to always start with when I'm looking at data is a baseline. Because without a baseline, the data is relatively meaningless. So the blue line here represents the North Carolina state average proficiency and its change over the last 4 years. The red line represents ABSS and our change over the past 5 years. So what you can see is in 22-23, the state had actually a great year still coming off of COVID, and the state gained 2.2 points, where we gained half of that at 1.1. The following year, we a little bit more than doubled the state gain, but still didn't quite make up that overall gap from the year before. Now, everybody knows we'll just say the bad press, I don't mean press intentionally, but the bad press that we got last year. We were designated a low performing district. Many of our schools were designated as not meeting expected growth. That's that red EVOS data. And I want you to notice that is caused from a minus 1.6 drop in proficiency. Now, it's more than just proficiency. I'm not going to get into all the ins and outs of EVOS. I'll cover that when the EVOS data comes out. Whereas the state gained 0.8. So if you look at the last 2 years, the state didn't even make up an entire point of gain. Right, so the state went up 0.8, we went down 1.6, obviously then resulting in that net loss of about 2.4. Still working on my basic math. That's what resulted in our current predicament. We gained 7 points this year. And I want to really emphasize how unbelievable that is. Only 9 districts last year gained 3 or more points out of 116. And they weren't the size of Alamance. Generally speaking, it's the pro and con of being a small district. You can have a couple of schools swing you in one direction or the other. So the small districts are generally the ones that end up on the very bottom for the greatest loss, and they also end up on the top for the greatest gain. I don't know what the state overall gain in proficiency will be this year, but I guarantee you it will not be 7 points. It won't even be close. So we had truly a fantastic academic year in overall proficiency. Sandy, I feel like you have a question.
When will the state number be available? Is that the fall as well?
I'm not going to look for that really before the rest of the SPG data
Okay.
is released.
Okay,
If they happen to release it earlier, then we'll dive into it when it is, but I would expect it around that same time.
okay. September-ish?
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, this is truly phenomenal data gains, and as you can see, is really closing our gap between where we are at as average and where the state is. And getting to that state average is one of our primary goals over the next few years. So very impressed with the work that our schools did and the support of central office and my colleagues. So the next slide. So we're going to get into we're going to start with high school, and then we're going to go down to middle school and down to elementary school, and all of them will follow the same order. So you're going to notice that through all of these, the green is going to represent gains, and the red, where you see that little plus minus, if you happen to see red, that's going to represent a negative or net loss. So in English 2, we have a little over 5.5% gain in proficiency. Some of our notable achievements, AVS was up just over 5%. Southern High School, just shy of 6%, and Cummings was just shy of 8%, with Southeast really knocking it out of the park with 11%. Now, ABEC did not make either 5 or 10% gain, but I figured I would acknowledge them because they were at 100%, and we can't be too upset about that. Math 1. So Math 1 is an area that we really shined on, and you guys probably remember this data from first semester, and it carried over to second semester as well. So ABEC, again, positive 6.25 and 100% grade level proficiency. Eastern High School was just under 10%. And really, your school year, that 10%, that double-digit gain, that's that unicorn that you are always chasing. And to have this many schools get a 10% or more gain, as you can see, Southeast with 12.36, all the way up to Cummings that had a positive 27% gain. That is truly amazing for all of those schools. We could not be more proud of the work that they made in that progress. So Math 3 was one of our already highest percentages for grade level proficiency. Still, AVS had a positive 6.67. Graham was positive 7. And then with that 10% or more was Southeast and Cummings. Again, amazing work that they both did there. And this is why I think, Dr. Parker, you had asked me a question when we presented the mid-year data. And I said, we get excited about a percent gain. And there's a reason we get excited, because as you notice, when the state's jumping 0.6 and 0.8, even then, if you can jump 1, you're outpacing the state. So we're still quite excited about those Math 3 gains. So biology, so if you remember, biology was renormed this past year. And so I really only compare it to when it was renormed, because there's not really much value in comparing it to a prior test that was different. But we are actually, to note, pretty much at the same level that we were at prior to it being renormed. So we gained 10% proficiency points in biology, with ABEX, Cumming, and Graham having 5% or more, and then Southern, Eastern, Williams, Southeast, and AVS, again, just knocking it out of the park with some pretty tremendous gains. So I want to note some, as you are talking out in the community, some things that you may want to say. English 2, highest grade level proficiency and career and college ready that we have had, not from last year, not from the year before, but in the past 4 years. And I think this is what really sets this data apart from other data gains that this district and most other districts ever experience. Is when you can go back and you're going to notice this trend throughout all of our grade levels. It's going to be generally highest GLP and or highest CCR. And CCR is when students score a 4 or a 5, GLP being anywhere in that 3 to 5 range. Math 1, highest, oh, go back, I'm not done yet. Math 1, highest GLP and CCR in the past 4 years. And even though Math 3 only made a little over a point, still put us in the position to have the highest GLP and highest CCR in the past 4 years as well. And biology improved, and again, I'm not going the last 4 years because it was renormed. Same for all sciences, 5th grade and 8th grade were the same way. Science from last year improved in both GLP and CCR as well. So our middle school data. Middle schools had a truly fantastic year. And you can note from where the proficiency started or ended last year versus this year, we really closed those performance gaps across grade levels. With almost a 10-point gain in 6th grade, just shy of 15 points district-wide in 7th grade. Again, this is not individual schools, this is district-wide, and then just under 5 points in 8th grade. I'm gonna tell you, if everything looked like 8th grade, I'd still be up here like super excited. The simple fact that there's 9.66 and 14 up there is outstanding. So we had so much success in the middle schools that we just highlighted the top if they went double digit or above. So Graham, Turrentine, Hawfields, Western, and Ray Street all had double-digit growth in 6th grade ELA. For 7th grade, it's a pretty long list. Woodlawn, Southern, Graham, Western, Turrentine, Hawfields, and Broadview. And then 8th grade, Southern and Broadview were double-digit as well. And you're seeing a lot of names of schools that we keep our fingers crossed, and we really hope that they get some good gains to close those achievement gaps, and you can see that's the work that's happening. As we move into math, so math saw some pretty strong gains across the board as well. And again, you're going to see that 6th grade and 7th grade really evened out their proficiency. 8th grade, you will always see 8th grade being lower because students that are generally historically proficient in scoring well in math in 6th grade and 7th grade take Math 1 in 8th grade instead of 8th grade math. So those students never assess in 8th grade math. And so one I'm really particularly proud of is actually Math 1. To jump from a 93.7 where you're already like, how much better can I get? And then you're getting up to a 97 is pretty outstanding. So 6th grade math, special recognitions to Graham, Western, and AVS. For 7th grade, AVS, Turrentine, and Western. And Western was, truly outstanding on 7th grade math. 8th grade math, Graham and Southern. And Math 1, Western again, and Southern again. So for middle school science, so again, science was renormed last year as well. And so we do expect to see some good gains. And so it'll be interesting to see how our gain was compared to the state as a whole. But we jumped just over 10 points in 8th grade science with Western, Southern, Turrentine, Broadview, and AVS. And I feel like I'm skimming over. Like Southern had 16 points of gain. Turrentine had 19. Broadview had 21, and AVS had 35%. Like, we can just leave this slide up all evening. So we're just going to leave this one up as a backdrop until we close out the meeting. So some things that you might want to talk about as you're out in the community. 6th grade reading, highest GLP and CCR in the last 4 years. 7th grade reading, highest GLP and CCR in the last 4 years. 8th grade reading, highest GLP and CCR in the last 4 years. And I know you all can read, but I'm having a lot of fun doing this. Math, 6th grade, highest GLP and CCR in the last 4 years. 7th grade, highest GLP and CCR in the past 4 years. And we missed on 8th grade, we were a couple points shy. But Math 1, highest GLP and CCR in the past 4 years. And then 8th grade again, improved GLP and CCR. All right, so now we'll jump into the elementary schools. So starting off in the same order with language arts. So again, you can see the leveling of grade levels across the band. So 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, we all ended at right about that 47%, with 3rd grade getting the most gains at just under 12%, then 2.27 and 8.32. Again, just recognizing 10% gain or above. You had Garrett, Hillcrest, AW, and again, just 14%, 16, 17, 17, 19, 25, and BEJ with 31.32% gain in proficiency. So when we talk about students being able to move forward reading with confidence, that's it. 4th grade, North Graham, AO, and Highland. And then 5th grade, Holt, AO, Sylvan, Newland, Haw River, Hillcrest, Grove Park, and Andrews, all knocking it out of the park, having a fantastic year. When we look at our math proficiency, so math proficiency was much less. Now, you still haven't seen any red though. Just want to point that out. 3rd grade math, Garrett and BEJ both had some pretty tremendous years for their 3rd grade math. 4th grade math, Smith, Holt, Andrews, Grove Park, and North Graham. And then for our 5th grade math, which saw the greatest gain in math for elementary across the board, was AO, Newland, Hillcrest, Andrews, Grove Park, and Haw River. And again, I want to actually call out one school real specifically. Can you go back up to the previous slide real quick? So if you take a look at, they're actually missing on here. No, they're not. Okay, so if you take a look at Haw River for 5th grade ELA, their 5th grade team had a great year. They were at 13.69, and then for 5th grade math, 32.77. You're also going to see they're recognized for science as well. So well done to Haw River, many of our schools. I could literally spend hours up here just recognizing the successes of our different schools. And 5th grade science. So we had a 6.61% gain with South Graham, Pleasant Grove, Grove Park, Newland, Andrews, and Haw River. And again, you're looking at most of these recognizing just over 10%, but really Pleasant Grove through Haw River just had absolutely fantastic data trends. So while you are out in the community, things you might want to say. 3rd grade, highest GLP in the past 4 years. 4th grade, highest GLP in the past 4 years. 5th grade, highest GLP and CCR in the last 4 years. For math, now I want you to think about how small those math gains were. Still enough to give us the highest GLP in the past 4 years. 4th grade, same. 5th grade, highest GLP and CCR, and improving in both GLP and CCR in 5th grade science. What questions might you have?
I just want to say, I don't mean to jump in, but congratulations to leadership, congratulations to our staff and our students. Impressive gains. And I think that, as you opened up the presentation where it's not where we want to be, that we are certainly moving in the right direction, and that is certainly to be applauded. So, Tamika, I think, or Ms. Harvey, I think you had something that you wanted to share as well.
I just want to say thank you to you and your team. Thank you to admin, teachers, and everyone who went in with an open mind. With an open mind to know that it could be done, These numbers are so impressive, and I can't wait to see, the numbers just moving forward, because I know that there will be. It is so good to see just the positiveness there, and I can't imagine how happy teachers and admin is just to see numbers like this. So thank you so much, and thank you for just believing that it could happen. I appreciate you and your team so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Harvey. Mr. Wagner, and then we'll go to Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, I was going to hold some of this for my closing comments, but I'm excited. The job of this Board of Education is to deal with budgets and policies, and that's the really fun stuff, right, that we deal with. But this is where the rubber meets the road. This is what we are sitting up here for. is to see our students being supported fully. When I mean fully, teachers, staff, administration, and the Board of Education and community, and believing in our students. Contrary to popular belief, our students are not functionally illiterate. I think this data shows that. And you know, what's exciting to me is that, yeah, this is a great improvement. This is year one, basically, of the focus that we've had. Dr. Moore, I want to thank you and the team, the administrators, and our teachers, our principals, Board of Education. Again, this is why we sit up here, is to help students prepare for life after school. And it's just amazing to see the improvements when just a focus can be given to the priorities of students. Not the priorities of about budgeting all day long, not the priorities about brick and mortar, but the primary goal of this board and this community is to give our students a chance to be successful within the classroom in a safe and efficient environment. And so I want to thank you and applaud you. I would like to say we expect this every year, but we've got to curtail our excitement, but celebrate the success of this past year. And again, for everyone, cabinet, administration, teachers, staff, families, parents, and students, thank you so much for the work you've done. We look forward to getting there next year as well. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner. Mr. Rogers?
So, I mean, most of my board members have already hit the main points and the main things. So I just have one question for when DPI does, verify everything and it's out there as official information. Can you just state where? Then, of course, I know it'll be presented by you and everything at our board, but where then can also people go out and look at that data, and then also they can then break it down to schools and grades and everything at the various schools? Where will they be able to see all of that information?
So simply Googling NCDPI data dashboard will take you to a link that has statewide data in it, and that can be sorted by district, school, region, state, so on and so forth. And you can sort subjects and a bunch of other things. But that would be the place, that'd be where I would recommend that you go look.
All right, thank you, Dr. McWhorter.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Dr. Parker?
Yeah, I was going to save this for comments as well, but I'll go ahead and say it. Congrats to the students. Good job to the teachers, to the support staff, bus drivers getting kids to school on time. Thanks to everybody at central office. I know that there's an impression that you kind of sharpen pencils or something or whatever, but it seems like the first year that Dr. Fleming was here, it was really putting out the fiscal fires, and this year it's really been everyone pushing in the same direction as far as academics. And so congrats to everybody. It's hard work, I know, but great numbers, and looking forward to see what comes next. So thank you.
One quick question, and I know this would just be pure speculation, but do you or Dr. Fleming have any thoughts on how this data will impact our low-performing district status, as well as some of the low-performing schools that we've seen really knock it out of the park?
So I feel pretty confident in hypothesizing that we will not be a low-performing district next year. So school growth is about more than proficiency. And you can see schools make really tremendous growth and barely move proficiency at all. And you can see schools that actually gain proficiency and actually decrease growth because students are moving the wrong way within their levels of proficiency. However, based on our initial assessments, DPI gives us, through EVOS, projections of where students should end up.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, our schools were absolutely killing it. And students were scoring much better than they were projected to be, especially when compared to last year's data. So we should have, I'm saying should, I should knock on wood too, we should have many of our schools exceeding growth this year.
Thank you for sharing that. Any other questions or comments for the board? Dr. Fleming?
Yeah, I just want to say one, I appreciate Dr. McWhorter and his leadership, but also when I look at all of our areas and all of our departments, when you look at these numbers, you can tell it does take a team. We talked about bus drivers getting to students to school on time. And I'm really amazed by this, or I guess I should say I'm shocked but not surprised, because we wanted to do this. We felt like we could do this. We felt this in the you know, the climate within the school, we could feel this. So we knew we were headed in the right direction, and I think we were very, very impressed by this. And we'll want to keep this momentum going. But I also want to thank this board for your confidence as well, because there were times, and like I said, I haven't been here 2 years yet. We're working on it in a few months. That, you know, you kind of wonder, are we going to be able to do this? Are we going to be able to pull this school district out of the fiscal issues? And we've been able to. Are we going to be able to pull this school district through some of these facility issues? And that's ongoing, and we continue to do that. And that third leg to the stool, if you will, was around academics. And while I don't want to say it's finished, because we will have schools that we've got to work on proficiency, work on growth. We will still have some low-performing schools. We're not going to tell you we're not. We may have schools that have proficiency within the low-performing status, but their growth is able to push them out. Well, that's still not good enough. We want to make sure we're getting up to that state average, and I think we've taken a pretty good bite out of it this year at 7 percentage points, so, or 7 proficiency points. So I am very optimistic, and I want to be able to celebrate. We won't celebrate till this fall until we have all the data from DPI. Typically, they present that to the State Board of Education the week of Labor Day, usually, during a state board meeting in September, and we're able to release it the afternoon that the state releases it. They release it around lunchtime, and we can release it right after that. So we still got to, we don't want to jump the gun too much. I will say we have got to be the first school district in North Carolina to present this data this early. But it's going to feel good because, you know, we have people, unfortunately, betting against us that we didn't have all the data. It's only first semester data. You know, that's not very well. And the good news is we've got full year data, and we're really excited about having an opportunity to share that with everybody. But man, I'm looking forward to partying. I don't know what we're going to do. We might close Church Street down or something. I don't know, but we'll figure something out.
All right. Thank you, Dr. McWhorter.
Thank
It's
you.
always great to end a open session
Well, I
with
finally got to-
good news.
That's right. And we'll make sure when we surprise you, we still have the PowerPoint with us.
We all put that on Assembly so we can have a copy of that as well, and then for public consumption. So board members, I will open it up for board member comments. Who would like to kick us off?
Avery.
I'll go first this time because last time that went so well when I took Avery's spot. I'll say one more thing about the testing data. You know, the expression is we've come a long way. We have a long way yet to go, but and more to do. But it's good to be on the positive, you know, slope for a change. And like so many things, there's not one weird trick. It's a lot of little things and consistently applying, you know, best practices that brought us here. So, again, congrats to everybody. For graduations, those are in some ways the good part of being on the school board. And we try to get to all of them, board members, to the extent possible. It's really nice, and I say it every year I've been on the board, that you really see the character of every high school. It's a little bit different. They do things a little bit differently. And it's fantastic to see all the students and the happy families. I will say that, you know, sometimes there are concurrently scheduled graduations, and so not every board member is at every graduation because it's quantum mechanically impossible, but we get to all, you know, that we actually can, and it's really great. And I'm not going to read them this time because there are probably other folks who want to say it, but thanks to everyone who made gifts to the district, and I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Parker. Mr. Rogers?
First off, I want to just thank everyone, our cabinet, teachers, bus drivers, Dr. Fleming, for all of y'all's hard work every day and what y'all are continuously putting into our districts. Thank you to the families who continue to just pour into their kids. And thank you to our students who show up every day. And I think I said this a while back, but our students don't just, they show up with plenty of things going on, and our teachers take that and continue to push forward with our students. And I just want to thank them for the way that they show up, the way that they go through various things throughout a school year and how they just continue to amaze us all. Speaking on the graduation pieces, graduation is always a great time, always a fun time. I made a joke with Mr. Wagner when we was at the Turrentine, I think 8th grade celebration. I was like, hey, I said, this 8th grade group over here at Turrentine, they're a rowdy bunch, but it was great because the students was cheering on the students. Like, of course, the families are going to be cheering on their kids, but actually seeing those students cheer on each other when they were getting those awards was great. And it was an amazing feeling this year being on the stage when my nephew came across the stage. I made it through, no stage dust got in my eyes, but it was great to be there with him through that moment because of just seeing his growth, but then also a lot of his friends too that I've done seen since they was in kindergarten, first grade, and throughout those years, just seeing them now graduating and moving on to those next steps in life, and just realizing, being just so happy for all of these amazing graduates and their families who get to celebrate them. And so the graduations are just completely wonderful. Quick update on one of the boards that I'm a liaison for is the Alamance Partnership for Children. Just thankful for all of the hard work that they do as far as early childhood education. And in our meeting last week, they were talking about, their work right now on filling their spots for pre-K for next year. So any of those families out there and those who are getting their kids ready for their pre-K, please reach out to the Alamance Partnership for Children. They are a great resource in our community on helping you through that process. But even the kids who are not coming into pre-K, they have multiple programs to just start to prepare kids for their early childhood education. And so I think a lot of people should reach out to the partnership and use that great resource that we have here in Alamance County. And then I just want to quickly just talk about being a school board member and what that just means. It means a whole lot. Like, it's not just sitting up here in these meetings. It's a lot of things to it, from the graduations to visiting our schools, and at the end of the day, continuing to advocate for what our schools need and continue to understand that that is the role that you have to do and have to stand up on and continue to stand on business around that, and making sure that you don't just take that role lightly. And some people say various things to you at times. Some people will try to knock this and just say the school board is out here just trying to demand more and more money and more funds. But we're in this role to advocate for our schools. And you have to do that every day, because we're not just advocating for an abstract number. We are truly advocating for a student who is sitting in a classroom. We're advocating for that teacher who pours her extra into things. We're advocating for the bus driver who has built those relationships with students. We're advocating for those custodians, those TAs, those support services folks, from our counselors to social workers. We're advocating for our next generation. And one thing I'm going to always do while I'm in this seat, and then if one day I'm not in this seat, is to continue to advocate and stand up for public education, because I'm a product of public education. And it has been one of the greatest things for me to be educated in the way that I have been through Alamance Burlington school system, and being a proud graduate of that. And so seeing those numbers today around the academic achievements and what we're doing as a district, it makes me think about Kobe Bryant saying at one time, I'm very happy about things that are going on, but the job is not done. There's still more work to do. Like Dr. McWhorter said, we are excited about these numbers. That they are so great, especially when you hear the wording of folks, well, that's just one semester. That's just preliminary. But now we're looking at a whole school year of us moving in the right direction. We are not where we want to be, but we are truly moving in that right direction. And we knew that we had to have a big focus this year and always going forward around what does academic achievement and academic support looks like for our students and our educators in the schools. And I feel like us as a board, but also this district, our principals, our teachers, and our families are all having that same focus and making sure that we're continuing to fight and stand up for our students every day so they can achieve those great achievements that we're seeing in their growth. And so I just wanted to say, for that, as a board member, that is always what I'm going to be standing on and standing behind. It is not about making certain promises out there in the community, except for the promise that I'm going to always fight for public education and fight for our students.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Mr. Wagner, Ms. Harvey, whichever one.
I'll go. I don't think Avery wants to follow Seneca. So good evening, everyone. Want to say thank you to our speakers. Thank you for always showing up. I'm going to always say it's not easy standing behind that podium, speaking on what matters to you, but we always want to hear what matters to you. We want to hear what's going on with you. We want to hear what's going on with your students. Congratulations to our graduates. I did have one to graduate. And like Seneca said, it's so amazing to see not just her graduate, but all of her friends that I have watched grow from these little bitty kids to now these, I guess I'll say young adults. You know, I don't know if they're really adulting or not, but hey. So congratulations to them, but congratulations to every graduate. It was so exciting to be at the graduations. It was so exciting to feel how excited they were. And you know, if I can say this, I just want to say, you know, our kids don't get to graduation by themselves, okay? They get to graduation because of great parents. They get to graduations because of great guidance, great mentors, great teachers, great bus drivers, the custodians who tell them to have a good day, the people who believe in them from day one, even when they don't believe in themselves all the time. There is someone within that building pushing them to be better, pushing them to be great, so they don't get there by themselves. So I am telling each and every one who has a hand in our students getting to the end, thank you so much, because they can't do it by themselves. Just want to kind of piggyback off of Seneca. You know, I didn't get in this seat to keep it warm, to look nice on camera. I got in this seat because I truly believe in advocating for what's right. I truly believe in advocating for each and every student that enters the school building each and every day, whether they are mine or not. I believe in our students. I believe in what they can do and what they will do within our future. But as an elected leader, we need other elected leaders to stand behind us and do what's right. I believe in fully funding public education. That's what I believe. And I believe that it takes all of us to work together to get it done. We cannot do it by ourselves. We need people to stand behind us and give us the extra boost, or at least to say, you know what, we're in this together. You're not in this alone. That's what we need. I just want to thank the board for always working together to do what's right. Not on what we individually believe, but what we believe as a whole, as a unit, because we are one unit, okay? And I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you. You know, it's not easy sitting up here. It's not easy being an elected official within this county all the time. It just isn't. But when we can continue to stand together and stand behind what we believe in, we will always see great things happen when we can stand together. So I just want to say I appreciate each and every one of you just for us standing together. And again, I'm looking forward to great things or more great things that are going to happen within ABSS. We do not have illiterate children within ABSS. We have great children, great students who will continue to do great things and continue to make us proud as we see what they do within their future. So again, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Harvey. Mr. Wagner?
What am I supposed to say?
Tried to get you to go first.
Starting next year, I'll start first again. To reiterate my colleagues, it's truly an honor to sit up here and to serve this community, students and staff and families, and to do what we think is best for all, not just for a few. We take our jobs very seriously. We take our finances very seriously, and I think this board has done a really good job, as I said in the past, about cleaning our finances up. We told you that there was good news coming academically, which is one of the primary goals of this Board of Education, this community. We've done pretty good with that as well. State facilities are improving. Folks, the momentum's positive. The momentum's positive. We can't stop here. We can't stand on our laurels just because we've had one good year. We need multiple good years in a row, because it is the objective of public education, not just to educate the 10th, 11th, 12th graders, but also focus on those kindergarten kids, those first graders, second graders, give them an opportunity to be successful in the future and replicate what we're doing well. Again, congratulations to all the graduates. It is a truly an honor to sit up there and see the smiles across your face and some of the dances across stage. And I surely couldn't have done that years ago, but it's one of the honors of seeing the work of this community of you walking across that stage. And we wish you all the best. We hope and pray that your experience here at ABSS has been good, has been positive, so you can come back and give back to this community who still cares about you. I wish all the best to everyone in the summer, and our athletic team's coming up. I wish you the best. I will say I'm going to start holding academic teams to a little higher standard, GPA-wise. That's one of my goals coming up for next year. I think being in extracurricular activities is not a rite of passage. It is an honor. We do expect you to be leaders in the community and the classroom. And regarding education over the summer, parents, guardians, please understand that education begins and ends at the front door of the home. Our teachers and this administration, this staff, this Board of Education is doing all we can to support you. And I've said this before, and I'll say it another 20 times next year. We can't, once they leave our school buildings, it's up to you to help our students, to help them continue to improve and do the work at home. We're here to support you. We're working with our county commissioners to ensure that we'll support you for the future. And again, it's truly an honor to serve you folks, but we need your help at home as well. So wish you all the best. Happy, great, safe summer. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner. I will say ditto to all of the comments from my colleagues, but I do want to take a minute to say thank you to you guys. We started a meeting this morning at 9:30. We adjourned the meeting and came straight here. So I just appreciate your patience and your leadership today. And always, I mean, it's really nice as the chair to be able to say unanimous when we pass votes, and I say that a lot. So it's nice to be a collective unit. And I think that we all agree, even though we have different perspectives, it's always about what's best for the children. So I will echo all of that and just say thank you to you and to our administration and cabinet. We've got some really good things going, and I'm excited to end this school year on a really high note and be able to say the same thing next year, to hear Dr. McWhorter saying this is the highest in the past. I want us to outperform ourselves next year and the year after, and I think we're on a really good upward trajectory to do that. So at this time, if there's no other business before the board, I think that Dr. Parker has a motion for us.
I make a motion we enter closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A3 to preserve attorney-client privilege. North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A6 to consider confidential personnel information protected under North Carolina General Statute 115C-319 and 115C-321.
Thank you, Dr. Parker. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously, 5-0. We will move into closed session at this time. We are back in open session. This time I invite Dr. Yolanda Anderson, Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources, to the podium for personnel report.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, and Dr. Fleming. I ask that you approve the personnel report as presented in closed session this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve personnel report.
Thank you, Ms. Harvey. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously, 5-0. Thank you, Dr. Anderson. Is there any other business before the board this evening?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Dr. Parker. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously, 5-0. We will see you in July.